Hello my beautiful book besties, welcome back to the channel. Today we get to talk about my Roman Empire series, which is the Devil's Night series by Penelope Douglas. Ignore that feather. Okay, I was wearing feather pajamas yesterday. Did I make this video last week but accidentally put it in slow-mo where it did not have any sound? Yes, I did. And did I get a super special book box from Penelope Douglas that I opened live with you guys last week? So I got live reactions, but could not use it because I did it again in slow-mo with no sound. Yes, I did. So, sorry that did not happen. I still have the box. See how freaking cute it is. Okay, I was so excited for this box, guys. I got an email from like Penelope Douglas's team like earlier this month being like, hey, like thank you for all of your support in honor of, I want to say it's their 10th anniversary, maybe 15th anniversary. Happy anniversary, Horseman. Okay, 10th anniversary as of November 15th, 2015 is when they came out. And so they're like, in honor of the anniversary, we are sending out book boxes. Like, Jess, would you like one? And I was like, of course I freaking want one. Are you kidding me? And so I opened it and it was a copy of Corrupt signed by Penelope Douglas, which is nice because this is the new cover and I have the old cover. So now I have both. I think I'll eventually want to get all of the new covers, like the red and black ones, but I don't know. I also hear that they have like a limited edition one coming out soon. My friend Autumn from Book Club let me know. So like, I might be saving up for that. Are you kidding me? But anyway, it came with the book. It came with like such cool stuff. And I'm so sad that you guys couldn't watch like me go through this because it was just, I don't know. It was so cool. So like I got chopsticks for Kai's book. I got a little basketball, obviously. I got, what else did I get? It all came in like nice little baggies and stuff too. I love like when they do the book boxes like so cute like that. Okay, so I got the key for Carfax from Emery's book and Will's book from Nightfall. And then it was actually kind of fun because I hadn't reread Nightfall at the time and I just finished it earlier today. So I didn't know what this was. It says it on here. Like I read on the card that it said it was a thurible keychain. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. And at the time I was like, I don't remember what it's for, but it actually was connected to the key that was left for Emery for Carfax. And so like she knew where to go find it. And it's something in the church that like burns incense. So I was like, okay, that makes more sense now. I had read the book. That was good. I got a rosary for Damon, like this rosary. So, I don't know. This was so exciting to me. I love this. And then I actually got like a keychain that has all the guys' masks on it. I actually have it in my purse right now. So yeah, like the book box was so cute. It came with a bunch of stickers and stuff, like magnets. This one says, you either have my back or you're at my side or you're in my way, which is so freaking cute. So the book box was exciting, but I'm so sad that I didn't get to like do my live reaction. So it is what it is, but it was a big moment for me. So with that said, moving forward, I did a reread of Devil's Night this year because I read it 2 years ago. Not during Halloween I read it because Devil's Night is technically October 30th. So a lot of people reread it in October or read it in general during October. But I read it, I want to say in 2023. It's 2025 now, right? But I think it was at the beginning of the year, like February maybe. So it had been like 2.5 years. And my friend and I, Carrie, she jokes a lot that she has a 2-year cap, that after 2 years, like her brain wipes. She does not remember shows she watched. She does not remember books she read. So she can almost like reread it and like it's almost like the first time. And I feel like I'm not that far behind on her. Like, so rereading this series this year, I was like, I forgot so much that happened. Like, and it's kind of one of those things like, sometimes I'm scared to reread books. This is my first year actually starting to go through and reread some old books that I had loved because at the time, like it's so new, like so exciting. And then you just kind of like remember the vibe. I talk about this a lot. I don't necessarily remember much about the book. I can't talk extremely well about the book after I read it and put it away. Like sometimes I forget characters' names. Sometimes I freaking forget the titles, but I'll remember the vibe of the book. And like, that's all I have to go off of. So rereading is sometimes a little scary because it's like, is it gonna be that good the second time, or was timing everything and who I was in that in that moment, what I was entertained by in that moment mattered, and so like that's why it held such a piece of me, and now when I reread it, it just isn't gonna hit the same, or is it really that good and I like fucking love it the second time, right? So like, luckily for me, the Devil's Night series stuck with me even the second time around, and this time was 10 times better because like I already knew so much that was about to happen, so I was able to pick up on those little clues throughout the series this time, knowing what happens in all the rest of the books. So yeah, I want to talk about it. I'm so excited. So basically, I didn't reread Corrupt, which is Michael and Rika's book, this time around right now, because I started it at the beginning of the year or the end of the year last year, so I had just like reread it within the last like 10 months, and so I was like, I'm not gonna reread Corrupt. Everybody knows at this point Michael Crist is like my least favorite in this series, and it was one of those things too, because I was sitting there like, why did, after I read it the first time, why did I hate him so much? And it's not that like when I reread the book I was like, oh, I like him now, but I was still sitting there like, I can't remember why I hated him so much, like, but then I kept reading and I was like, oh, I forgot, he's a fucking douche, like, as you go through this series. And so I actually made a TikTok yesterday saying that my hot take is that Damon Torrance of this series is like the actual like villain that is the true hero of the series, while like Michael Crist is like the leader that's supposed to be like the hero, but he's actually a villain. So I went in, I was like, don't worry, I have receipts, because this time around as I was reading the series, like half my highlights are like Michael Crist hater highlights. It's literally like 4 categories of highlights. It's like, I hate Michael Crist, I love Damon and Will, I love Alex, and then it's like, I love the couples and like normal like actual highlights. So like, my favorite character in this whole series, like my favorite FMC, I guess she's not even an FMC, my favorite girl in the series is Alex. I fucking love her. I wish she had her own book. Like, I don't know, it would be perfect. I don't think Aiden deserves her. Like, I think her story got rushed so far at the end of like, oh, they're engaged now. Like, I'm reading Firenight right now and she's like engaged, and I'm like, or I guess at the end of Nightfall she was engaged. So like, I had just finished Nightfall and then started Firenight, so like she had an engagement ring as she's on the phone, and I'm like, fuck Aiden. I hate him so much, but I like need to know their story. I don't think we're ever gonna get it, but I'm like, I wish I had that book. And then all my highlights in Kill Switch and Nightfall are just like Damon and Will, like, and their love for each other, and I'm like, I want their book. Like, I want a book that's just Damon and Will. Like, their love for each other is so beautiful. I love that so much. And then Michael Crist, right? Like, just my hatred towards him. And so like, I was talking in my TikTok yesterday that like, Michael Crist is just not what I call a morally gray man. Like, not a dark romance, like, boyfriend, book boyfriend, whatever you want to call him. After my video, like, most people agreed with me, and some people were like, no, he's just morally gray. And I'm like, this isn't morally gray. Like, morally gray is when, like, Damon, when he found out that like Winter's dancing partner was like sliding his hand higher up her thigh, and so he like threatened to beat him. Okay, like, that's morally gray. Okay. What Michael Crist does is just shitty boyfriend behavior, right? Like, I like took highlights, and it was like Michael Crist in Hideaway like was hitting on Banks like multiple different occasions. Like when Banks comes out in the sports bra and like the workout gear, like it says in the story that like Kai notices Michael's like jaw on the ground, like standing next to Rika, and Rika's like punching him, like, stop. And it's like, Kai's like, what's he looking at? And then he looks over and Banks is like finally like wearing tight fitting clothes, like showing skin. And Kai's like, get the hell out of here. And I'm like, everybody knows that like in dark romance, any romance, honestly, like it can be all toxic and fucked up, but once you guys are together, like that's your girl. Like, you would gouge your eyes out before you looked at anyone else. And like, that's why the cheating trope is such like a, it's only okay if you're cheating like with the FMC, like MMC kind of thing. Because in my opinion, okay, like I've tried to explain this before, like the fucked up behavior is like, we can figure it out, but it's when the fucked up behavior becomes a little bit too like close to home. Like, this isn't fucked up, this is just like what most guys do at this point. So it's like openly hitting on your friend in front of you, like, that's what a shitty boyfriend does. That's not a morally gray man. That's just a shitty boyfriend. And so like, I tried to explain that. And then I said, in Winter's book, so in Kill Switch, Damon and Winter's book, I have this highlight that like Winter shows up at St. Killian's where Rika and Michael are like building their home, and she was supposed to be there. They invited her over, but I guess they didn't realize like she was already there. And so like she's feeling her way around trying to find them, and she hears them like going at it, and Michael's telling Rika while they're doing it how he could easily cheat on her like while he was traveling for basketball and have any girl he wants. And Rika's like, but you won't, because like you love what you have here, or like you wouldn't want to lose what you have here. And I'm like, Rika girl, like I love you, but like, ooh, like do not let that man talk to you. Like what the hell are you guys doing, right? And so I was like, that was not cool. I didn't like that. And then I move on to Conclave, and Conclave really pissed me off because like Rika has this big secret that he did. She's like nervous to tell Michael, which is like a real honest to goodness, like she's not doing anything fucked up. Like she's nervous to tell him and that he's gonna break up with her, right? And so like she's like trying to find the courage to tell him, and he like openly screams at her in front of everyone saying, F you, Rika, I gave you too much power, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, he's so weird with her on like, do you want this girl to have power to grow, to stand like tall for herself, to be like a part of your world? Or do you want her just to be like a fake extension of you that like you get to pull out when you want, and like have her be part of the group, but then put her back away like when you don't want to? Like he acts like she's a prop. Like, I'm gonna use you and your power in your brain when I want to, and then I want you to shut up and like just sit there and look pretty for the rest of the time. And it's like what do you mean you gave her too much power? Like Rika is like, the woman she is amazing. Like you should be like supportive of that. And so then after that, he like, Damon tries to stick up for her, and he's like, that's my woman. Michael like, that's my woman, I'm gonna deal with it how I want. And it's like, ew, stop. he sucks, right? So I like remembered why I like did not like Michael Crist that much going through this series again. But then I had a change of heart. So like my original thought was I hate Michael and love Damon, and that stayed true. Like, but I realized more why I hated Michael more, and realized more why I hated Damon more as I read through. However, I did have a change of heart on Hideaway, which was what I was kind of talking about in my video that I tried to make last week. Is in my like memory of reading these books, again, I just remember the vibe. I remembered finding Hideaway super boring, and I was like, why did I find it boring? I don't know. Like I felt like it was so much about Damon and almost like a prelude to Kill Switch. Like we were so focused on Damon and everything like that, and I was like, I feel like we didn't get enough of Kai and Banks. I was like, I feel like Kai is the quiet guy that I wanted to see him like filthy and come unraveled. Like I love seeing that. I don't know, I guess I forgot, because like all of that happens. Like Kai is the quiet guy that like is a freak, has a filthy mouth, like love that. Like Banks, I always remembered she was a badass, but like she's a fucking badass. Like I love that. Their story was actually really good. And then I was like, well, it is heavily dependent on Damon, but now coming back around reading it the next time, it's like, that's because Banks was heavily dependent on Damon. Like I guess I never like put it together. Like Hideaway had to be so heavily Damon dominated because that's all Banks knew. That was her whole entire life. So if you didn't understand Damon enough to understand Damon and Banks' relationship, you would never understand Banks. Like you had to almost understand both of them together because they were so interconnected that like her entire life revolved around him, right? And so, and Damon being Kai's best friend, like you almost needed to understand Kai and Damon's relationship to understand why Banks and Kai had this like riff going on, like, and why it never worked out when they were younger. So I was like reading back, and it's like, if you had pulled out all those moments with Damon, you would never understand Kai and Banks' relationship, right? So I was like, is it heavily dependent on Damon, or is that just Banks' whole life? And so like, I think that kind of like switched my like viewpoint on the book. I also felt like the flashbacks, like I feel like all of the books, because they all have present day, past day, like flashbacks, and that's how like the whole entire storyline is written. I feel like sometimes that can get super annoying when you're like, okay, we're finally getting somewhere present day, and it'll be like 9 years ago, and you're like, no, like, but I don't know. I found it very entertaining, like this time around reading Hideaway. So like I gave it, like I actually made a public statement, like a public apology, being like, I'm sorry I gave this book so much shit. Like I feel like the hate was so forced. So hate on Michael, not forced. Hate on Hideaway was forced. I actually do like it. Then moving forward to Kill Switch, I then started it and I was like, this is probably why I felt Hideaway was boring, because it took so like a little bit longer. It was a lot more of a slow burn to get to like the meat and potatoes of the book. But then like the first page on Kill Switch is fucking unhinged. Like Damon's already like marrying Winter's sister and like whispering at her like, I've got you now. And you're like, well, what else do you expect from Damon's book? Like, do you expect Damon's book to be a slow burn? Of course not. He's fucking crazy. So like, it was just on par, right? Like you have to have Hideaway be slow burn, kind of like, I don't know, like more organized because it's a reflection of Kai, versus this one's unhinged because it's a reflection of Damon. So I get back in Kill Switch and I'm like, hopefully my love for Damon is still there. I don't know, like, you know, he's a fucking crazy bitch, like the first 2 books, right? So I was like, I don't know, like, let's see. And so rereading Kill Switch not only made me realize my love for Damon is pure, it is true, but when you share your opinions online a lot on like how you feel about a book, or like other people share like opinions online and you're like, I agree with them, and then you start to look at like everybody's comments, you almost start to sometimes like question like, am I right? Like, do I need to like reevaluate? Because people will come at Damon for like a lot of things, right? They're like, he's fucked up, right, in the head. And so it's like, this time around, I wanted to like look at it like, okay, like since I didn't remember it, a lot of times people will be like, how do you feel about him essaying her at 16 years old, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, damn, I like forgot about their ages and stuff like this. And I want to be very clear, when you read this, this is a dark romance like series. Like nothing about this is like cute and fluffy. Like they burn Rika's house in like the first chapter of the first book, right? So like there's a lot going on here. And so I was like, okay, let me read it like again and kind of see like where I maybe was coming from. Like, why do I love Damon? Because I know I'm not alone with this, but like why? And so like rereading Kill Switch, I realized like, like people will be like, oh, he came at her when he was 16. No, if you read the book, I mean, yes, they were together at 16. I get that. That's how he got arrested. But if you reread the book, I noticed he wasn't supposed to be there, right? So like when Damon and her meet, they're much younger. So you're going to read this almost from 3 time stamps. Much younger. He's 11, she's 8. In high school, he's a senior, she's a freshman. And then, oh, I guess you kind of read that timeline for like a little bit. And then when they're older, like, I don't know, 26 and 23 or something like that. So when they're in this like high school stage, it's almost split into 2 parts. It's him as a senior and her as 14, and then him leaving for 2 years. Like, I'm not gonna talk to her. I'm gonna leave her alone, because he recognizes that he's not good for her, even though he's in love with her. And he needs to leave her alone until she's older. She's too young, and none of it, he's very clear, none of this is like sexual in nature. Like, he is so drawn to her as a person because when he sees her, he sees beauty in life that he normally doesn't see any other time in his life, right? So like his love for her is very much like pure. And so he realizes like she's still very young for like the world he lives in. And so he leaves her at 14. He's a senior in high school. He leaves her alone. And I think his plan was always to come back for her when she was 18 years old. But she gets in a car with somebody at 16. She's about to turn 17. She gets in a car with somebody that's supposed to take her home. And it is Miles Anderson, which you'll see like in Corrupt as well. Like, he is a fucked up person. And so like him and his girlfriend like basically kidnap her. Like, they bring her to a remote location And like, I think they're gonna try stuff with her. And as a reminder, Winter is blind, so she doesn't know anything that's going on. She doesn't know these people. Like, she was coerced in the car by her friend that said like, oh, I'm gonna take you home. And she's like, okay. And then like the friend dipped. But they keep trying stuff with Winter, and then all of a sudden there's like paintballs like shoot the windows of the car. The two run out screaming, and Winter locks the door. She's like, I don't know what's out there, but I'm glad these people are no longer in the car. And it turns out Damon's in the car, right? Like, he saved her from them, and that's kind of like how he gets back into her life at 16. And so like, then when you read the entire scene again, it's like, is it right? No, like I get that, but it was like, she was like 3 weeks away from being 17, and she's like, come on, like I love you, I want to be with you and stuff like that. So it's like, you almost look at it like, damn, it's just a fucked situation. Like, it's a fucked situation. Now, should he have been honest with her and been like, it's me, Damon? Yeah, I get that. Like, holy fuck, like Damon's not the good guy throughout any of this. He's actually a fucking villain. But then as you keep reading though, you realize like, I think it's ironic in a lot of dark romance, I'll read a fucked up character and be like, he's fucked up, but he has a reason, right? It's not an excuse, but he has a reason. Everything has a reason. And they even say that in Nightfall. But it's rare that I see dark romance MMCs that are fucked up. They have a reason, and then they are so much more than that to the series. And that is Damon Torrance. Like, Damon Torrance not only cares about himself and cares about his girl, he cares about literally every single person in this series. Like, he loves them so fully. That's his family, and he would burn the entire world to protect them and keep them close, right? And so that was my entire video I was trying to explain yesterday. Like, while Damon was set up to be the entire villain of the series, it turns out once you reread it and like pay attention, he actually ends up saving everyone at some point. Like, I was saying how with Rika, like, he's the first person to like notice her true potential and power and recognize on a chessboard that she's the queen, and like, we need to utilize the queen because she is strong. And so he comes up with this game plan to put her in power to be the mayor of Thunder Bay. And nobody, like, everyone's like, what the heck? Even Rika's like, I can't do that. Michael, of course, not fucking supportive, is like, no. And he's like, no, like, call me when you're ready. I have a game plan for you, Rika. And so the two of them, Damon and Rika, end up getting really close as they like realize they're very like-minded and stuff like that. And so like, I thought that was really cool. And then obviously with Banks is his sister that he saved from her mom. So Banks was 12, and like, her and her mom had no money. So they came to Gabriel Torrance's house, which is Damon's mom, Damon's dad, asking for money. Damon was 13 at the time, sees her, and is like, I want her, like, to be here. Like, I want her to be my family. That's my sister. And so he goes to her mom and says, like, I want Banks to live with me. Here's like $1,000 and some gold watches that I stole around the house. And her mom's like, okay, fine, you can have her, which is so fucked up when you think about it, right? And so like, Damon essentially brings her back and hides her in his room for years. Like, she doesn't go to school. He has her like do his own homework, so like she learns that way. He hides her away from everybody, but also hides her away from everybody in that house. And so it's kind of like, when you think about it, just like how I just said it, seems fucked up, seems super toxic, but he's essentially a 13-year-old boy trying to raise a 12-year-old girl and keep her safe in a household of people that assault people. Like, that entire house just like was horrific to live in. And so like, he did everything he could to keep her safe with the resources he was given. And so I was like, okay, like, okay. So, and then after that was like, Banks is that bitch, and he's already like grooming her to be like in power, like way more than just the mayor of Thunder Bay. Like, he wants her like in the White House. So I'm like, okay, like, he sees her power. And then we have obviously Emery in Nightfall. I was saying how he like saved her by giving her the key to Carfax. But like, as I was finishing it up today, it was so much more than that. Like, I was reading a scene where like, Will thought Damon and Emery were like hooking up in the shower. So much more happened than just that. They were not together, I promise. But like, Will tried to like attack Emery in, I don't know, what's the right word to use this? Like, they were fighting, he was screaming at her, she was crying, And he was essentially saying like, I love you. We hooked up. You think of me as just a fuck. And so he was saying like, prove me right. Just like do it, as he's trying to like pull off his clothes, like that's all I am to you. And she's crying, and Damon's standing there, and Damon like grabs Will and like punches him in the face and was like, you need to stop. And I'm like, see, like the kid cares, okay? He gives a fuck. And then it was like later in the train after they rescued Emery and Will, and Michael and Kai are like going in at Emery. Well, it's like, you suck, you don't deserve him, you don't deserve anything. And finally Damon's like, guys, we burned down Erica's house. Like, what are you talking about? Like, we kidnapped her mom. Like, what are you talking about? Like, and they're like, oh, that was just a mistake. And she's like, as if this wasn't a mistake too. Like, and I was like, see, like, he's fucked in the head, but also at the same time, I feel like he's the only one that uses the logic to like save everybody around him. Like, he just wants to keep everybody close, and every time there's like a threat to his like group, he like lashes out. Like the first time he met Emery, the only reason why he knew what was going on with her was because he went to go threaten her to get away from Will and see if she's covered in bruises, and it was the first one and the only one that noticed what was happening to her at home. And so it's like, and so immediately he went from the defense mode of being like, hey, get away from Will, Will's mine, to like, okay, now you're in my group too, like immediately. So I don't know. I love him. Like, he's just such a sweet boy. But then I finished Nightfall today too. I feel like I love Nightfall, but I feel like this time around it was a little slower for me. It is so different than the others, because if you don't like the others because they're like fresh out of high school, like, or like in high school for some of the stories, like the flashbacks are in high school, but a lot of this is much older. Like at this point in the series, everybody's like in their mid to late 20s. Like, it is a different vibe. Will is now in this place called Black Church, and like everybody is trying to get him out. Like, you know that from like reading the other ones, but he has an agenda. Emery somehow gets brought into Black Church and nobody knows why. Like, why are we here kind of thing. And so it was kind of slow starting up, but once it was there, it got so good. Like, so good. And then I feel like the train scene from Nightfall will live rent-free in my head forever. This is what, like, between Conclave and this one, it's when I started to really like love Alex. Like, I always loved her before, don't get me wrong, but like seeing her in here, like, you start to understand her more. Like, I don't know. This one's just different. This one's different. All the other books are about like guys that love to dominate their women. Will is so much different. Like, he wants to be dominated by Emery. Like, the other ones are about the guys doing fucked up shit to the girls. Like, Emery's the one that like absolutely destroys Will in this book. Like, the dynamic is totally flipped, which my book club and I were talking about. And I'm like, I hate Emery. Like, I hate her. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, at the beginning, I hate her. And then it's like, oh my God, I love her as a person. Like, poor baby. But what her like destroying Will, I'm like, how could you? He just wanted to love you. And it's like looking at like the others, and I'm like, well, okay, Damon destroyed you because he was broken. It's okay. And it's like, Emery destroyed Will because she was broken. It's like, yeah, but why would you do that? So I think the double standard is there. Actually, I know that. I know that the double standard is there, and I try not to let it be there, but it's so hard seeing like such a sweet baby Will get his heart broken. I'm like, leave my boy alone. But yeah, this series, like, I joke that it's my Roman Empire series, but like, it's not a joke. Like, I could talk about the series for fucking hours. Like, I've already been talking about it for 30 minutes. I still feel like I haven't even like said half the things I want to say. And then I hate when people tell me they don't like it, and not because I think that you need to like every book I like, but a lot of people will like hit me with the like, it's good, but I liked Hollow Boys better. And I'm like, I'm currently listening to Hollow Boys. The first book for Hollow Boys was awful. Like, it was so boring, but I know, like, you never judge a series by, like, a popular series by the first book. And so I listened to the second one. The second one's amazing. Like, I love it. Like, I truly do. So I'm like, okay, like, I get that. Like, I could see like why you like Hollow Boys better, but I like to be determined on how I feel about that, because like Hollow Boys is just different. I feel like Devil's Night hits, like, not to be like an emotional person, but like as I'm reading Devil's Night, like I'll find myself like tearing up just thinking about it, like thinking about what these kids went through at home. I don't know. And like you see a lot of that happening in Hollow Boys too, but I feel like Hollow Boys more skates around what's happening at home. Do you get what I'm saying? Like some books like skate around the trauma, and they're like, it's implied that this is happening. So like Sage, it was very much implied that like things were happening in her home. But I feel like a lot of times authors won't actually like explain the emotions behind that. And I feel like we see that a lot in Devil's Night. And I think that's what like sometimes will tip me over on whether like it's that memorable or not, is like if the author goes through with like making you feel fully what that character was going through. So like feeling what Damon went through, and even like Emery, I joke that like, why'd you break well? But like flashbacks of the scenes of like what Emery was going through at home, like that like sticks with you, right? Like I don't know how else to explain, like that sticks with you. And I think that's also another reason why like I can't ever understand like the, like I get why people don't like Haunting Adeline and Hunting Adeline. Like I get like when you're looking at the first like 50% of Haunting Adeline, but I'm like, did you not read like the absolute emotion that went into Hunting Adeline? Like I don't know. Like it's been years. Like even before Devil's Night, I read those two books, and I won't get over it. Like that, like HG put her entire like emotional soul into it, so you will never forget it. And so I haven't felt that with Hollow Boys yet. Like I haven't felt that like pure like Rook had his heart broken. Yes, I get that. Like, yeah. And Sage went through things at home, but I still didn't feel the same kind of connection. So I don't know. I'm starting Thatcher's book next. So like, I think I'm finishing Nocticadia today. So I'll finish that. And then I'm going to do book 3 and 4 of the Hollow Boys as audiobooks. I think 5's not out yet. I might either eyeball read it or just wait. So I don't know. And it's also, again, it goes to timing, right? Like was the first, like when I read The Devil's Night, do I have just a soft spot for it because like it was the first one that like really did that? Or like would it have been different if I read Hollow Boys first? Or do people just like Hollow Boys because it's just like more entertaining? I don't know. Like I'm not really sure yet. So we'll see. TBD. I will give you guys a heads up on how I feel about Hollow Boys. I really like it. So like do not like think this is a bad review about it at all. I just don't know if it's gonna have my heart the way that Thunder Bay does, but whatever. It is what it is. I had someone be like, I'm laughing at how much you hate and love these characters. And I'm like, these are like, I have very few books that I'm like, these people are real in my head. Thunder Bay is real. All of these people are alive and thriving, like having the time of their life, and they're all my friends. So I don't know what you mean. Oh my God. So anyway, this was great. I don't really know. I don't know. I feel like I had so much more to say, but I'm now realizing I don't know what I've already said. So either way, thank you for joining my yapping. I will, what was I gonna say? I think I'm gonna do a video for holiday books next because guys, it's freaking, what is it? It's October 28th. We are almost in holiday season. I am a huge fucking fan of hockey romance. So I read like 35 hockey romances last year. Huge fucking fan. I've already read, I'm gonna be so honest, I've already listened to a holiday book already. It's called A Merry Little Christmas. It drops today. I am doing a video for it, but like I already talked with Lauren Blakely and her team, and we're like, maybe let's like push that until after Halloween because everybody's obviously talking about Halloween right now. So I'll have like a short video up about that soon. Super cute. I already fucking loved it. Like the audiobook is perfection. Lauren does such a good, if you haven't checked out like Lauren Blakely's books, she does such a good job with her audiobooks. Like I don't know if girls just rolling in cash, but like she makes them full cast audiobooks, and I'm like I get it's super expensive, so I get why authors can't do it, but for the ones that do it, let's go. Say less, queen. So yes, so I'll get started on making a list for that. But otherwise, October has been really good. I think I set out to read like 20 books this year, or this month, I mean. I think I'm probably gonna hit 15. I'm not that far off. I was planning on doing more in the Zodiac Academy, but I just ran out of time. So Zodiac Academy is next month again. So we are still on book 5 of Zodiac Academy. If you've been following along, I will move forward with that. I want to do like, I think I want to do a reread of the Lord series. I know that the next book is coming out soon. And I'm kind of spending some time doing rereads of my favorite books. Like I just said, I just did Devil's Night. I did the Mind F series earlier this year. I think I might do the Lord series next. Let me know your thoughts. I think I want to do it before we get into the next one, because like I've never actually sat down and read, like, I think when I started, only The Ritual and The Sinner were out. So I did those back to back, but then I had to wait for The Sacrifice and then keep waiting. So like, it's been a long fucking time, guys. Like, I need a refresher. Like, I don't remember these books at all. So, yeah, I think that will be my next one. Ooh, I also got the Bonds of Hercules book. Do you guys want to see it? Hold on. So I was told, I got the letter when I got the book that they were not doing arcs for the Bonds of Hercules. So here's the Blood of Hercules. I don't know if you could see this because of the lighting. It's very beautiful. I got this like at a bookstore. I got invited to like a bookstore opening not that long ago, and so I got this book. But then I got an email asking if I wanted the next one, and I was like, hell yeah, I do. I want the next one. So it is beautiful. Like, people hate on this book so much. Like, it's like a love or hate relationship. I had a good time listening to it. I thought like the little snake girl was funny. I thought the girl herself was funny. Like, I did the audiobook and people were like, it just didn't translate when I like physically read it, which is perfectly fine, but I don't know. I had a good time doing it. So I was like, whether you like this book or not, you cannot argue with me that they do not make stunning books. Like, I would buy these like as is, right? So very excited for that. So that's going to be on my TBR for November, is to listen to that audiobook. And then I also got, I think I mentioned this, Hollow by the Twisted Sisters that write Zodiac Academy. Oh my god. Their book, I think, came out this week. This one, I have not read it yet though. It's called Hollow. Did I just fuck you up? Of course I did. Say less, queen. But yeah, it's not connected to the Zodiac world. At least not what I'm seeing. It's heavy. She's a heavy girl. But they write heavy books. So this is also on my TBR for November. And then this will be my holiday video. But I love the book Old Goalie Night by K.M. Gillis. I read that last year. And I made a video about it. And like, it did really well. And I guess the sales for the book spiked. And so KM reached out to me and was like, oh my god, like, thank you for making a video. Would you like my arc for, or like when I come out with the next one, would you like me to send it to you? And I was like, hell yeah, girl. And this was like last December. And so a couple weeks ago, maybe last week, I get a DM from her being like, hey, like, I'd love to send you the book if that's still okay. Can I get your address? And I was like, hell yeah. Like, I wouldn't have reached out to her, right? Like, that would have been creepy, but I'm like, I hope she remembers. I hope she remembers. So, the next book for that it already dropped. So like, I'm gonna read that with my book club as well. So I'm excited for that. But yeah, anyway, I'll make a holiday / November TBR video, make that next. But either way, thank you guys for sitting here and yapping with me again. And I hope you have the best Halloween and the best Devil's Night. Stay safe. Let me know what you guys are gonna be, because I'm going to be Tori from Zodiac Academy, dressed up as a Pegasus to fuck with Caleb, and my husband is gonna be Caleb. And I got him like this dirty blonde, like curly wig, and I got myself like a wig, and I'm gonna put a sign on his back that says, I'm horny for the horn. So if you don't get that reference, read Zodiac Academy. Otherwise, let me know what you guys are gonna be for Halloween, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.